Guys, hello and welcome back. Yesterday we had a heated discussion, not angry, but very lively conversation about what our ideal Pokemon game would look like. I gave my thoughts, and Lightsaber was smack dab in the middle of his thoughts, and I was quite rude, and I had to cut him off because they're at the end of that episode time. But he's going to continue right now with what else he wants to see in that Pokemon game. Lightsaber, I'm giving the floor to you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, guys, welcome back. We're on episode 73. Hey, before we get going, if you've been enjoying the series so far, and I assume if you're still with us, you have, if you can hit that like button, it actually helps us out a lot. And I know that we're all tired of hearing it, but we wouldn't be saying it if it didn't actually affect things. It really does, and we've seen that on the channel. So if y'all could be awesome and do that, that would be amazing. So, back into my thoughts on what my ideal Pokemon world looks like. So we talked about release structure of waiting that 6 to 9 month period releasing a new gen. We talked a little bit about the raid mechanics and how I really I want it to culminate. You finished the raid no matter what difficulty they've set it at. I want it to culminate in the old-fashioned you versus it. And I hope you brought the right style of balls. I hope you brought the right Pokemon, because you're in there for the slog. However, we're going to talk a little bit more about what I would want to see when it comes to transitions into the next generations, and what I think should happen to old generations once you get there. So,
Can I,
when I'm thinking...
in that line, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Would you want to see something similar to Final Fantasy? Or would you be okay with a content schedule similar to the way Final Fantasy XIV releases content? But there is for real, it is not just play through the story. There is content. When they drop content, there is content.
So, here's the reason that the answer is no. The reason the answer is no is the content for the first 8 releases is done. It just needs to be transitioned.
I'm saying filled out. If they really filled it out and they added quests and NPC dialogue and side missions and, content. You were going in, if you went into Red version, Kanto, okay, you went into Kanto, the starting area. Kanto was starting area, correct?
Yeah, it was.
You go into Kanto, and
you have to wait 2 years for Johto?
With content. I mean a full, large content drop for the initial release, and then support patches. A few support patches. Maybe not 2 years, right? Maybe not 2 years.
So that's my hiccup. I'm okay with up to a year between them.
If they drop one, and then over the course of that year, there's content patches, and then the next year they drop one more. But when I say, content that you would want to play. Not filler, not BS, but, content. That you really, that is rewarding for you, and that you want to play.
Here is my answer. If I believed the company would ever do it, I would be completely willing to give it a shot. But...
You don't think they'd hold up on their end of the bargain?
I do not think, especially with generations that have already released. We're talking Gen 1. That released how long ago? 25 years ago?
In this situation, in what I'm envisioning here, when I'm suggesting this, you are keeping the bones, and you are building an entirely new body.
Okay, because that's not what I'm thinking.
Because when I say that, I mean, the towns are the same, the gym leaders are the same, maybe the routes are the same, but there is a lot more to do per town before you advance. You get to Cerulean City, and, in the original, right, you get to Cerulean, and you need to battle the people on the bridge, and you need to deal with Team Rocket, and then it's the gym. And that's the story beats. But, you get there, and you've got, you've got to talk to people in the town. You've got to like help the townspeople out. Like Misty meets with you and she says, "Hey, you know, like I will get to like battling you and having you attempt to do your badge, but we have things going on in town that we need to situate." And then you have to help the townspeople deal with whatever issues they're having. And not like fetch quests, not like, oh, go get this. Maybe a couple of them for variety, but like unique quests where like you have to go in. It would be more fleshed out. It wouldn't be the exact same paths. Like there might be some jumping puzzles. There might be some secret areas. I mean, like essentially a new game for that area, if that makes sense. Like when I say content, I mean like full dive, deep content. See, now you're thinking about it.
Well, I'm still thinking no. I'm still thinking no is my answer.
Okay.
I can definitely see some of that aspect. One thing that I don't think that I want. I don't know. I need to play more of the more recent games. I need to think about this aspect of it more. How did you have enough health? You had less than a quarter. Ugh.
High defense stats be like that sometimes.
No, defense
Wait,
stats
why are you fighting
anything.
two Meta? Oh, one is, never mind, it uses substitute.
Yeah, that's the problem I have. Oh, it killed itself. That's funny. But my thing with that is I don't want to add in a ton of mechanics because
Pokemon is always meant to be accessible for a younger audience, and so they could never do something too complex.
Well, that's not even what I'm thinking of. It's like jumping. You mentioned jumping puzzles. The only thing that comes close in Pokemon is finding your way down and sliding on the correct paths or something like that.
I was gonna say like strength pushing a path from like boulders, but yeah.
So like those I'm okay with, but if we're giving a spacebar jump to the character and integrating that, I don't.
That was just an example, but
Yeah.
I mean like puzzle solving.
Yeah.
Like not simple fetch quests, but like
more dungeon-esque is I think what you're going for. And
yes.
that I would be okay with. I would be okay with them taking up to a year between content drops. But just looking at their business model now and trying to adapt it, I don't know. We'd have to see how they do. But if they
even
were like
created a shadow of what we've talked about here, Lightsaber,
mm-hmm.
they're printing money.
I'm very well aware. I am so well aware.
Like,
and
it's not even close. It's not even close.
No,
like, if they even created a portion, if they took half of what we've talked about here and implemented it in a real game,
mm-hmm.
I have not envied your spawns
they're
here
fine.
in this area. If they even implemented a quarter of what we've talked about, it would be printing money.
100% agree. But let's get back to what I was talking about. Originally, great side path. But we're 10 minutes in, and I said we were going to talk about this at the start. So transitions between gens. I think it's very, very, very important that your Kanto box, when Johto comes out, is only accessible in Kanto. And to transition into Johto, you have to be using Pokemon from Johto.
Yes.
100%.
Absolutely.
You cannot do this game without that unless the level cap in Kanto is 20. Because it would have to be a raise the level cap each time. And I just, no, that's not worth
If
not
they
worth
had
it at all.
if they had some sort of in-game explanation, like you have to vaccinate your Pokemon to come into this new area.
Here's my in-game explanation. Pokemon at least touts itself, like in-game. It's touted that your supposed reason for being here is to expand the Pokedex knowledge.
So Pokemon only exist in certain areas, so you're not trying to introduce something that doesn't exist otherwise.
Yeah, it's a thing of this new area has opened itself up to our research. However, at least for right now, they very much want to protect their local wildlife. So they request that you only use the Pokemon from the area so that you don't introduce something that breaks the food chain.
I honestly think that explanation 100% solves any and all issues and would work.
And the reality of the situation is, as your research progresses, as you continue through this path, they reach a point of going, okay, we don't think that the Pokemon that are in your control are doing anything negatively to affect our population. So what would not happen is you would not have this moment of, oh, all the national Pokemon are suddenly here, infesting our population. So, like, if you wanted to catch Pokemon that were Kanto-specific, like Dratini,
you had to
get
go to
back
Kanto.
to Kanto.
What if after you beat the Elite Four, you were able to bring your Pokemon to explore in that area?
No, that's 100% what I mean. Is once you get through with your gym badge, you have a certificate that says, okay, you are the champion of the area. We've seen that you are completely reliable with your Pokemon. We are okay with you bringing yours in because we don't think it's going to infest the population.
Yep. And you just throw a wrench in it and you try to breed 2 Weedles in Johto.
And I mean, they could very easily have a system where you send Pokemon back to the professors of their native regions. So, like, Let's Go, when you release a Pokemon, you're sending it to Professor Oak.
Yeah.
Which came with its own sense of dark memes. It's like, oh, you're grinding up the Pokemon into candy. But
I remember those memes, absolutely. Also, okay.
But if it's about the Pokemon transitions, fire. If it's about something else, I've still got points that I want to hit before the end of the episode.
Keep going, because I completely lost what I was going to say anyway.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So, on transitioning, I think that is mandatory. Is when you enter the Johto region, you have to be required to use the new Pokemon. Otherwise, you're going to waltz in with your level 100s because it's been a year or so since Kanto released, and you're just going to steamroll.
Now, what if encounters were level synced to you?
I think that's too hard, too much to code, too much to ask, and still ruins some of the replayability.
That's right, because then everything is always a fight for your life.
Well, not a fight for your life, but isn't it going to get stale when your level 100 Mewtwo just keeps sweeping level 100 Pokemon because Mewtwo's busted?
Yeah. You're right.
So I think that it's way better suited to have that transition. And you get the fresh start once you beat the Elite Four with all post-game activities. Like, on that release, maybe the Johto post-game activities could be, like, the boss fights are level synced to you, maybe. But everything else is what would be appropriate.
I would also, within region, like for Fly, in the current games, when you fly to a town, it's an animation plays and you load into that town, essentially, right?
Not in Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah, you actually fly.
Those games are what I want Flight to be.
You actually fly to the town.
Yes.
That's what I would like. Like, oh, I need to go over to I need to go back to Palatown for whatever reason, and I've unlocked Flight.
Mm-hmm.
And you would also have to unlock your new abilities with those new Pokemon in each area. Like, just because you could fly in Kanto, when you get to
100%,
Johto,
100%.
you can't just fly in Johto. You have to get to the point where you have a license to fly in Johto.
License to fly, or maybe
some justification.
Yeah, that would be a very difficult thing, is justification for why TMs and HMs don't transfer.
You could equip the TM or HM, but until you've reached a point, and they would build it into the story and the RPG content. RPG content, right? So it would be like at a certain point in the story, you're in I can't remember any. You're in Goldenrod City. Now, granted, okay, for those of our
we know
Pokemon
that it's very
nerds
early
here,
on.
it's very early on, but that's the first time that came to think of for Johto. You're in Goldenrod, and you're working with the gym leader to root out a local group of ne'er-do-wells, and you need Fly to reach wherever these folks are. You know what I mean? And so you don't have it freely yet, but you use it, you help the town, you solve whatever issue we were having in the town, and then because you have used it there and you have helped the local populace, that person allows you to fly through the greater area. Now, obviously, this would be further on in the story of the Goldenrod, obviously. But,
well, I mean, it could literally be exactly what it is now, where the game, where it is, you get your license to use this HM when you beat this gym leader.
I would want to see it be more involved in that, really. I would want it to see the allowance to do that as like a quest reward. Maybe not something like Final Fantasy where you have to go collect Aether Currents, but where you have to do this side quest in this area to be able to do that. Or a main quest, but you know what I mean.
Right.
I would not want it to be something that, like, just because you beat this area, now you can do this. I would want it to be more involved than that. Like, I would want you to have to do more than that.
What did I do?
Now, also, in this perfect world game, PvP is level synced to the route. So there might be a few PvP routes throughout the game, but the first one is only level 20. It's level synced to level 20. And the second one is level synced to level 30, and so on. And like and it caps out at like 60. What do you think to that?
I don't think it should cap at 60.
Okay, the last one you get to is capped at 80.
I would say 100.
For endgame?
Yeah.
Well, no.
100%.
In all, there's a battle tower somewhere that you can go to. If you wanna do that, but I mean, like, as far as like organically running into a PvP flagged area. Like,
I think that area, that, like, the top tier area after the Elite Four and after everything like that, there should be a route that is level 100.
For mobs and people?
No, just for people. Just for people.
Okay. Let's say some real farmers
So
there.
basically uncapped. I'll get into that later. I like how a few episodes ago I said, yeah, we're really running out of Pokemon stuff to talk about. And now we've been on this beat for about to be 3 episodes, guys.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to continue. I'm not done.
Well, I'm not done. You jumped in. I was like, I still have 4 points.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So, guys, we will continue this next time. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 75, right?
Gotta do some quick maths.
I'm about to say, check that for me. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was 74.
74 would have been me in, and I started a stopwatch, which means it was you in.
Was it? Okay, that's 67 here.
It's 73 or 75. Yeah, guys, this is how we keep track of things. We forgot to send a message on Discord that said, this is the episode we're starting. I know it's not.
We're on episode 73 right now.
73. So, guys, 73 episodes deep. I hope you're enjoying the conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. Tune in tomorrow while we continue this conversation about what our dream Pokemon game would be. And hey, if you've got, like, this is the one thing I've been praying for Pokemon, put it in the comments. Let us know. I'd love to sit here next week as we're recording these and go, oh, this is what CL or CCL wants to see. This is what.
Absolutely.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great day. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.